Hi guys, Allison here. Happy Fused Glass Friday. As you can see here, I have maybe you can't, let me zoom out a little bit. Got a big old bucket of scraps here. I'm sure lots of you can relate. I just feel like I'm constantly, making more scraps and always thinking about, ways to use it. So I thought today's project I could just work from here. I have some kiln paper here. Also, basically scraps. There's lots of rips and tears in this, but that's going to be fine for what we're doing. So the plan. I'm going to be making, I think, pendants. That's the intent. Maybe if some of them, don't pass the test, the cool looking test to become pendants, maybe I'll make them into components for a wind chime potentially. We'll see. We'll see how they turn out. I'm definitely just going to be sort of playing here. So the idea is going to be to create basically rings, vaguely round shapes with holes in the middle. I know that they do make, like donut shaped fill molds that you can basically fill with little pieces of scrap and then it'll be that perfect shape. That's not what I'm going for. I typically also don't like using those fill molds. I don't like the sort of like crunchy texture that it leaves on the glass. I know you can cold work and refire if you have a sandblaster and then fire polish stuff like that. I just prefer not to use molds 9 times out of 10. So I'm just going to be building them freeform here. They're also not going to be perfectly round or with a perfectly round circle. I think it might be interesting to have them have more organic shapes. All right, so I'm also probably going to be using this tool. This is, a tile nipper with the wheels. I typically only use this for when I'm cutting scraps to make like dots because it's a little bit faster. Maybe I'll use my other cutting tools, but I think I'm going to keep it pretty random today. Also, another thing is I have a lot of colors that, let me see, zoom in, get this to focus. So these colors that are sort of multicolored on the front and the back, when you flip them on the side, you can actually see like the stripe of different colors in them. I think that looks pretty cool, so I'm probably going to be incorporating that a lot where, cutting a small piece and then you can actually stand it up this way instead of having it front or back so that you can see that stripe. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. Use a Sharpie to just sort of give myself, approximate circles. This is definitely just a jumping off point. They're all going to look different. And I might end up making them closer together too. All right, so I have a couple done here. I'm just gonna move these off to the side and then get some more paper and just keep on going to see what these turn out like. All right, second batch I think is done. Very interested to see how these turn out. I'm gonna fire these, I'm gonna full fire these, and I will be back tomorrow and show you the results. See you then. Hi guys, welcome back. It is the following day and I have my fired pendants here. So I thought we could just talk about sort of how they came out. I think some were more successful than some of the other ones. I particularly like this one. Let me just make sure that that's focusing. I think this was the first one that I made. I really enjoy how that turned out. Also quite like this one. This was using the vanilla color, which is a reactive color. That's why you see this sort of dark halo on some of those blues that I used. I really like the shape of this one. I think that's pretty interesting. The pattern and the colors I also like, pretty like organic looking. This one, not the biggest fan of. Probably not going to make that one into a pendant. I'll probably just put that in my toolbox of things maybe I'll use at some point. This one's also, well, I like the shape of this one a lot. I think the color's a little bit boring, but we'll see. And then these guys, if you notice, they split, so they didn't, you know, form a ring. They're sort of more like horseshoes, but I kind of like that. Like, I'm wondering how I could drill holes and make that one a pendant that way, or I was thinking about hanging them this way. But regardless, let's, I'm gonna zoom out a little bit and just make a couple of these, show you how I was gonna make them into necklaces. So I have some cord here. This is like vegan suede cord. I have some lighter brown, darker brown. I actually have a bunch of colors behind me here, but I'm probably gonna stay with more like the neutral colors for these guys. Stick with the color palette. Maybe that's not enough contrast. It's pretty nice. I'm just gonna unspool a little bit here. So what I just did off camera is just made sure that I could get this around my head without it getting stuck. So this is long enough. Let me measure it, see how. So it's about 30 inches long. So that should be enough that I can make the ends adjustable once you get it over your head, but I don't want to have to add a clasp to physically pull these apart, and I'll show you how I'm going to do that. All right, so if you notice on the ends, I cut them to a little point instead of straight across, and I'll show you why I did that in just a minute. So I'm just going to make a hoop and just double back to attach it. Pull it tight. I'm just seeing if I like the look of that side or that side better to be the front. And I think I do like that better. Okay, so that's on. Now with these ends, oops, should have evened them a little bit better. Okay, so now for this end, what I'm going to be using is a bead. So this is like, trying to focus here. This is a bead that has a larger hole, or it's just a really simple metallic bead. I have them in silver, but I'm going to be using this bronze color. So basically I'm going to be putting both of these through the bead. So this is why I cut this on that angle. so that I can more easily shove these thick cords through that bead. I thought it was going to be more easily. I think I just need some pliers. Okay, I'm going to put those through. And then I'm going to knot these at the ends individually. And then that bead will allow this to be an adjustable necklace. So you open it all the way, slip it over your head, and then you can adjust this to make it shorter so that the pendant can hang either higher or lower when you're wearing it. So that's a way that I found to make necklaces adjustable. Pretty simple, as you can see, it just took a couple seconds. Really easy to do. So yeah, I'm gonna do a couple more of those, but I'm liking how this turned out. I might try one of these horseshoe ones just to see if it will work, because I'm worried that it'll the cord will slip off, but let's see. I think at least this one's fairly secure. I do have the advantage that this one was a little bit skinnier in the middle here and then got fatter on the edges. So I think that that'll keep that in place. That looks pretty good to me. I have blue cord too, but this seems a little too green. This one. All right, so there are a few samples. I think you guys get the idea of what I'll be doing with the rest of them. Yeah, I think they look pretty cool. I like the organicness of them. I like how they're all different. I like how they're pretty random. Now that I'm looking at these next to each other, maybe I prefer this. Maybe I'll re-loop this one, but that's okay. Yeah, I think this one's pretty cool too. So I think this is a great way to use up scrap glass that I know we all collect an insane amount of. And you don't need any special equipment other than, you know, what you would normally use for fusing. You don't need any special molds or anything like that. So I think that this is a pretty cool technique. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, feel free to subscribe to my channel. I do put out a new video every Friday, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.